Is it even a summer theme park trip if you don't feel like a melted Mickey bar by 2 p.m.? Whether you're sweating through your socks in line for Battle for the Ministry or debating if that third frozen butterbeer counts as hydration, this episode is your survival guide. We're counting down the top 10 ways to beat the heat so you don't become a sunburned, cranky churro. Oh, and we're gonna talk about avoiding that dreaded Disney rash, which, by the way, you can get at Universal too. Trust us, you need these tips before you roast like a turkey leg.
Ready for your fast pass to unforgettable adventures? Welcome to Talk Travel to Me. Featuring our Mickey Guru Travel Company expert travel advisors, this podcast will guide you in traveling with more ease, confidence, and a sprinkle of magic. Tune in for unique insights, insider info, tips, and personal travel stories that'll transform your journeys into exhilarating moments and lifelong memories. Fasten your seatbelt, grab your passport, let's embark, and let's talk travel.
Welcome back, travelers. I'm Christy Willett, host of Talk Travel to Me, and today I'm joined by longtime Mickey Guru travel advisor Jen Bauer. Jen, how about you introduce yourself and share something you flat out refuse to do in the summer at theme parks because of the heat?
Hi, Christy. It has been a long time,
Right?
almost 11 years.
Crazy.
I am a wife and mom to two teens, one who's about to graduate eighth grade, so then I'll have two high schoolers.
Oh.
I live in Texas, so I'm used to the heat, but when I'm at the parks, particularly Disney parks, I absolutely refuse to watch the afternoon parade. I love a parade, but I want a good spot, so I'm getting there ahead of time to sit for a while. And afternoon in Florida in the summer, not happening.
Yeah, I hear that. I like a parade too, but what I flat out refuse to do, which won't be a surprise to you or probably our listeners, is I will not go to Disney Springs in the summer at all. Those little springs that they have spread out through the complex really should have been swimming holes, and I get mad, like a crazy level of mad when I walk around and see them and I can't get in them, so I just have to avoid the whole area during the summer. Maybe someday they'll put in a swimming pool or something down there, but until then, not doing it. Not doing it.
It is tempting, but can you imagine the level of crazy since that is a free attraction if people were coming there to swim? They've already tried to bring their barbecue grills, so I mean, if they could swim too, it would be rough.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Was last summer, right? People brought like grills and they were grilling their hot dogs or something
I
like
think
right out
so,
there.
yeah, pretty recently.
Oh, I can't. All right, on today's episode, we're going to discuss all things hot and heavy in the theme parks. And here's what you can expect. First, we're going to talk about whether or not you should even be considering a theme park vacation for your summer trip. Then we're going to talk about planning your schedule, what you need to pack, talk about why it really matters when you head to the park. And then we'll talk about things you absolutely need to do before you leave home to ensure oh my God. Then we're going to talk about things you absolutely need to do before you leave home to ensure that you avoid that dreaded Disney rash and other things that you need to do in order to actually enjoy your vacation. That is the point after all, right? And finally, we're going to talk about daily strategies to keep things as simple and easy as possible. And we're going to talk about the importance of breaks, especially during these summer months. Okay, guys,
Ooh.
let's get into it. Start us off with, is summer really the right time for you and your family to visit? What do you think, Jen?
So I think the right time is whenever your family can go, of course. Like there is no perfect time to go to the theme parks. There's positives and negatives of any time of year. For my Texas families, we tend to get out of school a little bit earlier than other parts of the country. So I usually encourage folks to go right after school gets out. But I've also been in August and different times of the year. It's really just important to have a good strategy. I also tell my Texas clients if they're thinking about Disney that California hot is much better than Florida hot and Texas hot. So maybe they want to consider a West Coast theme park trip.
So true. We don't think about that as often because I think a lot of people just automatically zoom in on like Walt Disney World or Universal Orlando, but Universal Hollywood and Disneyland, it can be hot, but they don't have the humidity, so it makes such a
Mhm.
difference. And it is a great point that where we live makes a difference in the recommendations. for example, I was just at Epic Universe and it was 98 degrees um, in Orlando on May 22nd.
Whew.
Crazy, especially when you match it with I came from New Hampshire. When I left on my way to the airport, it was 47 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
So imagine like 47 degrees at home, you get off the plane and it's 98. Like that's a huge thing. So for my New Hampshire families, I tend to recommend July and August because we're already got the heat here. We have very high humidity in our area too. So the idea of you having some time to adjust to it at home and doing some of that prep work while you're still at home to get used to it makes a big difference.
Hmm.
Um, but I know that there are also some people out there that have special considerations. Like we have agents on our team that have POTS. If you have that, that's a really rough time of year to go because you already are having trouble keeping some of your body temperature regulated and staying hydrated and that sort of thing. So I think really making sure that your family members are able to handle it emotionally and physically before you head off makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, you want everybody to enjoy the trip. So it's important to talk through those things ahead of time too. Like if we've been in November, this August trip is going to be different. We're going to take breaks. We're going to do indoor attractions in the afternoon. We're going to do a sit down meal, things of that nature. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, the idea of looking at the whole year calendar for your particular travel group and saying, when can we go? And like start marking off things that are just not possible. Like in my family, we are not going the week between Christmas and New Year's. So cross that right off the list. We're not even going to consider it. And if you end up, I have a lot of clients that are teachers. So they can go Christmas week or they can go summer and they're like, well, I don't want to go Christmas because of the crowds and the most expensive time of year to go. So they're in on the summer trips.
summer. Yep.
And that you can make it happen. And we're going to talk about it today, like how to make sure it can be a positive experience, but you can't just show up in summer and have a blast like you can
Right.
do in maybe January or February, where it's like cool enough that you could just jeans and a t-shirt and you need a hoodie maybe. It's not the same during this time of year. So I think that the most important thing we do here and with our families is setting the stage for expectations.
Mhm.
Um, when we say it's hot, like it's hot, like surface of the sun hot in Florida. Um, and so I think that understanding that that happens. But what's the other weather thing that happens in summer, Jen, that people don't tend to love?
Oh my goodness, the 2 o'clock rainstorm that seems to happen all the time in Florida, which is kind of a nice reprieve. Not everything closes at Disney just because it rains or at Universal just because it rains. People tend to leave the park, so it can be super welcoming. But if you have the wrong shoes, the wrong socks, you don't have your poncho, then you're wet and squishy and miserable and then hot and humid as all get out.
Yeah, and the 2 o'clock rain showers, it's funny because it ranges from like 2 to 4, but almost every day you're gonna have that thunderstorm. Florida, Central Florida is like the lightning capital of the world. So like that's crazy to me, but like it every almost every day in the summer, it builds all day long and then there's this like major, I don't know what you call it. Where's Shalon? Shalon's our meteorological guru. Um,
The
but the
sky's open.
yeah, the sky's open, it's torrential. I personally hate a poncho because I feel like steamed broccoli. Like it
Fair.
is so hot but also you can't always have an umbrella because sometimes it's windy when it happens and we've all seen that happen with the wind and umbrellas, but being prepared for it for sure is definitely a thing. And I've had a client before that said to me, I want to make my dinner reservations every day when it rains. Okay.
Sure.
Like we can try. Like we could certainly plan dinner from like a 3 to a 4 start time, but it could be different every day. And
Right.
it just rains a lot in Florida in the summer. Not in
Yep.
California though. So we can't forget.
Well, and what's so interesting is I've been to Disney World and it will be downpouring in Animal Kingdom and lovely at Magic Kingdom because it's the size of San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
So even if you are expecting a rainstorm, it could be very dependent just on what park you're in.
hmm And that's why those weather apps aren't always helpful because
Right,
it shows you like Lake Buena Vista. It's even less helpful if it says Orlando, by the way, because they're not the same. Um, but yeah, it's one of those like you can't really tell. So you need a radar telling app that would allow it to show exactly where you are. But honestly, you can see it coming. You like
right.
the clouds all suddenly just start forming together and you're like, uh-oh, it must be 2 o'clock. And yep, there it is. But one good thing about the summer is that the parks tend to be open much later. Sometimes we even see Kingdom open until midnight. So if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck in terms of park open hours, that's a big win. We also don't have the parks closing early for like special events like Mickey's Not So Scary or Halloween Horror Nights, which I'm almost convinced to try this year. I don't know what happened to
Mhm.
me.
Could not pay me, not going.
That's gonna be a whole nother different episode, but I'm almost convinced, almost. Uh,
Good. I will stay at the hotel bar and wait for your report. I don't think you'll be gone all that long.
right. Oh. Oh. And the other thing is, used to be that summer was really crowded in the theme parks.
Right.
And I think that's been a change since COVID, don't you?
Yeah, I also think Disney was really intentional of spreading out their special events
Mm,
to get people to come other times a year. So with festivals and the after hours events and things like that, I think that's helped some also.
yeah.
But we were able to predict for years kind of what things would look like at a certain week at Disney, and it's just not that anymore. It changes a lot, but
Yeah, they
it's not
definitely.
awful at summer crowd in the summer crowd wise.
Yeah, like I was even there a couple of years, not last year, but the year before and the year before that, over July 4th. And that used to be in the old days, like really not a good time to go for crowds. And it was actually great. So
Yeah.
I think they were almost too intentional about shifting crowds around the year because now, if you look, the deals for summer vacations are actually much better than, like, say, October.
Fall. Yep, absolutely. And I also think along with extended hours in the evenings, um, it's super important to stay on property and take advantage of the early park entry too, because it's not so oppressively hot first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
hit up the parks then, take a midday pool break, a midday nap, change your clothes, take a shower if you want,
Yeah.
head back to the parks in the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Which leads us right into our next part when we start talking about something else you do before you go on your trip, and that's deciding what you want as part of your components for your package. So, talking about the hotel choice, which you and I are both, especially at Walt Disney World and Universal, staying on property girls. Like,
Mhm.
there's no reason. And honestly, in the summer, it's even worse because if you have to park in the parking lot and then make your way into the park, the surface of the sun is no joke in the middle of a parking lot. So yeah, staying on property is a big hit. What do you think about hotel choice during the summer, especially? Where's your go-tos?
So a couple things. If you can swing it, I'm gonna go do deluxe or Grandestino Tower, somewhere where I can stay, where I don't have to go outside as soon as I walk out of my hotel room to get anywhere I need to go. So our value resorts are all going to have exterior doors, most of our moderates, some of the deluxe too, just depending on how it's laid out. But there are resorts that you can stay in where you don't have to go outside for anything on your resort day until you're ready to hit the pool. Which is another big thing is I want to stay somewhere with a pool that I want to spend a lot of time at.
Yeah.
So I love Wilderness Lodge. I love the Polynesian. I love Grandestino Tower, which is really feels like a deluxe at a moderate price. The monorail is a draw most of the year, but it's pretty hot and sweaty in the monorail in the summertime. So
It is.
being on the monorail loop is not a must for me in the summertime.
No, and honestly, for me, precisely because of what you said about the separate buildings, the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian all have exterior buildings.
Mhm.
Grand Floridian does have some rooms in the main building, but Polynesian doesn't, so you're definitely going out. So on the monorail, you only have the Contemporary, which has quite honestly a boring pool.
It's kind of disappointing for everything else that that resort has. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
So,
love the Polynesian pool and I just wish their buildings were a little more compact.
right. We do have the new tower, which I have not even been stepped foot into yet. Have you been there yet?
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I haven't. And so like I think that could be a benefit. Like I could definitely consider staying there for that. But I always love the Wilderness Lodge, but I also really like the pool area at the Riviera,
Mm-hmm.
Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach.
Oh, for sure.
That those are my go-tos for the summer for the most part. Riviera, I think, kind of goes higher on the list at this time of year, not because their pool is anything spectacular, but I do love their little kid splash pad. Like that is,
It's very cute.
but I love the Skyliner.
Hmm.
And although, people, including myself, were scared of it before it came online because it doesn't have air conditioning, I've actually found that it's really quite comfortable.
Does have good airflow, surprisingly.
Yeah, it does. And it doesn't smell like the monorail, which, and I will say over at Universal, we don't have the buildings that are separated except for at Cabana Bay. Those buildings can be a little problematic, but um, in the summer over there, I'm always a signature hotel girly because of the benefits
Mhm.
that come with it. But I definitely really love the pool at Royal Pacific and the pool at Hard Rock. Those are like
Yeah.
my two favorite. The pool at Helios is nice, but it's lacking some things. So I don't think that would be my choice. But over there, I think that's where I would kind of go. Disneyland, all of them. I'll say all of them. Whatever.
Now, in the summer, I'm a Disneyland hotel girl. In the winter, I'll do Grand Californian, but in the summer, Disneyland hotel pool is my favorite.
Okay. Do you do the water slide? Is that why?
No, I just love well, there's three different pool areas now with the addition of the new tower.
Oh, that's right.
And just lots of shade, lots of options to spread out. Haven't had trouble finding a chair.
Yeah.
The kids like the water slides and things like that. And then I like all of the food and drink options nearby too.
Yeah. It's funny. I had a client recently say to me, we were talking about their summer vacation, and they had thought about Grand Floridian, and I said, well, I'm not really a big fan of them during that time of year. Let's talk about why. And then we ended up, she booked at the Grand Destino Tower at Coronado Springs,
Mhm.
and she said, I did not expect to get on a call with you and have you convince me to spend less money. I was like, I'm like, I just don't think for what you're looking for, I don't think it makes sense. And I would rather have you spend less money now and book another vacation at some point than to sell you something that you don't really need. Christmas time, that could be a whole different conversation, but
Sure, sure,
summer.
sure, sure. You
Um,
mentioned yacht club and beach club too, and I love those. Finally, the pool is going to open back up, Stormalong Bay,
yeah.
and then they have the lazy river and the zero entry, and that's definitely like a full pool day you can take there.
Yeah, I definitely think that they have a great thing going. The one thing I find about some of the Disney pools, like I love Animal Kingdom Lodge, which again is one building, so like you can have that benefit out there. But their pool, because of where it's located, gets so freaking hot
Mm.
that like I got into it and was grossed out. I love a pool, you know that. And I got in, got right back out because it was hotter than bath water. And
Yeah,
it's just where it sits and it's in the bright sun. Yacht and Beach, because of that lazy river, that it's 8 feet deep in that area, it does a really good job of staying
staying
cool.
cool. Yeah,
So that's another one that's like, people talk about how we can obsess over details, but it
it's
makes
true.
a difference. If you wanted to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and, that was like your favorite place to go, I think you'd be really disappointed to get in the water and be like, what is this?
Yeah, cool dog.
No. So
We
let's talk.
also, if you love Animal Kingdom Lodge, we can talk water park options now too, because they're including those on your check-in day. I've had clients choose to do a split stay to get two water park days included that way.
Yeah.
So then you can do Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon and make that a nice day don't do the parks or just go to the parks in the evening and spend the day just cooling off in the lazy river and the wave pools and the water slides.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's an excellent point. And I was going to go into park tickets and how park tickets might look different for families in the summer versus what you would do at other times of year. And maybe adding that water park option if you've got kids that really love water parks. But I love the split stay idea because that's going to save you a bit of money and be able to use that on other things. So that's a good thing. I'm normally a park hopper girl. What are you, base or park hopper?
Park hopper now that I don't have little tiny kids.
Hmm.
When I had smaller kids, dedicating a whole day to each park was totally fine with nap time and all of that.
Yeah. I feel like in the summertime, sometimes I recommend base tickets more, because I do want people to take advantage of that midday break. And
Hmm.
then you can go back to the same park. And the parks are all open later during the summer. So it's not like you have Animal Kingdom that closes at, 6 o'clock in the less busy months. So that's a little bit different. I would say if people have the funds in their budget, that going with the Park Hopper Plus option, which is the Park Hopper plus the water parks, can make sense.
Hmm.
Um, but I also think that depends on the age of your kid. Like if your kids are preschoolers, there's no need to pay to go to water parks. They're going to be so excited by your hotel pools
Yep, for
and the
sure.
water splash pads at the hotels. Like there's just not the need to spend the extra time and the money and then going over there, that sort of thing. But I think that like I park hop less in the summer because I get hot and cranky and I'm just kind of like, who needs it? But
Well, and the parks have added some of that too for your littles. Like you can go get spit on by a camel at Magic Kingdom, or there's, splash pads and the Way of Water with Moana at Epcot. And so there are places for them to kind of have water play even when you're in the parks. And, put your kid in a swimsuit with some quick dry shorts and they can be appropriate for the park and getting wet. So.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll talk about a little bit more about that when we talk about packing your park day bags, because being prepared for that makes all the difference. Let's talk dining plan versus quick service during the summer because you and I don't think I've ever had that conversation, but I'm curious how your recommendations for that might differ during the summertime versus cooler times of year.
So it depends on the family, really, like if it's a good bang for your buck. But if they're people that want the dining plan anyway, they're going to do several character meals, then I mean, definitely the Disney dining plan just to get out of the heat and see your characters and do all those sorts of things. I When it's myself or my teenagers, we probably have a sit down reservation every day. But now that they are Disney adults, it's not always a good value even having a sit down reservation every day. So for me, the dining plan is definitely based on the family makeup,
Yeah.
and whether that's going to be a good bang for their buck. The quick service plan is super easy, super convenient, but 90% of those locations are outside and you're standing, even if you've mobile ordered, waiting for your food and finding a table. And most of those are in the sun too. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to find for our family, we are definitely people that like to do one table service per day, so it works out that way for us sometimes. I will say with the new dining plan, I struggle to get the full value out of it for our family, and so we look at it very individually again for clients. I go with more quick service in the summer because I want to eat lighter. So,
mm,
like me, my favorite restaurant is Liberty Tree Tavern. Like,
oh,
but that is
that's
not,
heavy.
yeah, that is a heavy, heavy meal. So when I go in the summer, I almost never go because to get the value of it, you have to eat a substantial amount. And I don't want to eat that much when I'm going to be walking in 99-degree temperatures. Um, so I will typically do something different. And then when we do eat at table service, because I think we still definitely go like once a day, usually to a table service, it's usually not for a full meal. So we might go and get like appetizers, or we might go and split a meal and get a dessert or something like that. Because we all kind of feel that sluggish when it is so hot.
Right.
But it is the drawback of being outside for many of them, and sometimes it's rough.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's a conversation that we all have with our clients individually, planning all vacations, but during the summer especially. All right, so let's talk about how we pack and shop for our summer trips because that is so different. And I just came back
Yes.
for one, like I said, and it definitely my suitcase looked very different than it had just a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's a very real thought to think that you will wear two outfits every single day.
Hmm.
So if you get up early in the morning, hit the parks, come back for a pool day, you probably don't want to put on those same clothes. You might take a shower after the pool, and you need a second pair of everything to go back to the park. Most of our resorts have laundry. I don't like to do laundry on vacation. I would rather overpack given the option. So we're bringing like two of everything per night of our stay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mind, and I do tend to get like the villas, like a one bedroom villa. It has laundry in it.
Mhm.
Most of the resorts have laundry at the pool, so if you're doing a pool day, it can be really easy to do quick load or two of laundry to get that through. But I always joke that like 847 pairs of underwear actually make sense in the summer because I don't know, once I take my clothes off to go to the pool or I take my clothes off to take a nap, which doesn't mean that I don't wear clothes to nap in, but I don't wear my outside clothes in my bed, which because everybody
She
laughs at
has
me.
feelings about
Very
bed,
strong.
hotel bed cleanliness.
Yeah. Um, I have to put on clean clothes after that, right? Like I literally went to Epic the other day and I was there from 9 a.m. until 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then went back 6 to 10. And I not only had to go home and shower and like everything before I could rest because I was so hot that like when I went to get dressed again, there was no chance. My clothes were still wet from
Yeah.
sweating in them. Not to be gross, but it was gross. Like, so you've got to have all of the extra things, socks, underwear, ladies, bras. Like you're gonna need multiple bras during the course of a day because yeah. We'll leave it at that. Um, I also have found that going with the breathable light colored clothes, and the ones that have moisture wicking, which we were at Costco recently, and they had like a whole display of moisture wicking clothes, and I was like, I'll take one of those and one of these and one of that. That makes a huge difference. And then I
Mhm.
know, and I tend to do this too, and it's a wrong thought process for me because I'm so fair skinned. But I think like, oh, I want tank tops or I want dresses that like have really thin straps so that like I have as little covered as possible. And actually this last time I realized that when I wear like a sun shirt that has the SPF built in, because
Mhm.
of the material, you're actually cooler. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, I think the material makes a big difference, but also then like you might have underarm stains, which is never pretty. So I tend to go tank top, but
Yeah.
I keep getting on my Instagram like these, I think they're like Halara dresses or something.
Yep.
I'm like, I feel like I need this to try at the parks.
Yeah, one of my agency owner friends, Shelby, she literally had 7 different Halara dresses for this adventure we were just on at Epic Universe.
Huh.
So different colors, one in the morning and one at night. Like it was, but she was like, it's comfortable. Most people don't need a bra in addition to what it has there. So like you have that aspect and it's moisture wicking, like the whole thing. Like it worked out great for her. I have one, fortunately bought it a little bit too small. So like I'm not quite comfortable in it. But if you can get those, they are fabulous. I do swear by the Halara shorts though and I wear
Oh.
them under all my park dresses now because
Oh, okay.
you don't have to worry. In fact, I was on Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. I didn't get the picture because I'll tell you it was embarrassing as all get out, but my dress got caught up in the ride like seating mechanism. So when the picture came out, it was all my shorts, my white legs and my shorts, of course. And
Oh,
Sammy, one of our agents that was sitting next to me, Hers was her camera in front of her face, which you're not supposed to have out on Monsters Unchained. So it was funny, but like those Halara shorts, and they're long enough that you don't get any chafing.
Got it.
They're like magic, magic.
That is important for men and women, I am told. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, and then two pairs of shoes, at
at
least,
least.
right? Like, what do you wear for footwear in the parks generally?
So I'll usually do like tennis shoes one day and then flip-flops the next because I really don't love tennis shoes, but when I'm walking 10 miles a day, like I can't do the flip-flops every day. But in the summer, I really don't like shoes at all, and that's not an option at Disney. So, I do the flip-flops about half the time. Usually reefs, I found are pretty comfortable. So,
Yeah, I have UFOs, which I like those flip-flops, but when they get wet, they're very slippery.
mm,
I did find when I went to Iceland, I bought Vessi sneakers, which are lightweight waterproof sneakers.
mm-hmm,
And they were actually really comfortable. So I'm gonna try those in the theme park this year to see, because if you're going on any of these water rides, whether it's Tiana's or Kali River Rapids, or if you're
mm-hmm.
chasing your kid through the splash station, Casey Jr.'s splash station, having
Or
your
you just
regular.
hit that rainstorm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're not at dinner at your, 2 o'clock rainstorm, that could be a problem too, for sure. But you want at least two so you can alternate. I found sometimes the best for me, and I have some foot issues, is to do like 3 pairs and then during the course of the day swap them.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I go back to my room, I might start in flip-flops and then end the day in sneakers or vice versa.
And
Um,
the wrong sneakers don't even dry out in a day if you get them wet. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Little tip, not that we even have newspapers around anymore, but if your sneakers get wet, shove newspaper in them and that dries them out. I don't understand the science. I'm not a scientist, but if you can get your hand on a newspaper, they used to bring them at the USA Today every day at your deluxe
oh,
resorts.
yep.
So I
Mm-hmm.
used to just do that. It was great, but now they don't even have them. So I'm not sure where you get those. My other personal favorite are those cold towels. Now,
Oh, mm-hmm.
Disney and Universal sells them, but I don't, it's not surprising, I guess, but they're crazy expensive.
You can get them elsewhere. Plan ahead.
Yeah, like I got Frog Togs just on Amazon, and they're so big you can cut it in half and share it with your family member too. And they're reusable, so as long as you like take care of them, you can have them. I've had one set of them for at least 3 years, if not four. And they're great. Have you ever had a portable fan?
No, we never have. But I see them in the parks all the time, especially like attached to strollers and things like that, because you got to think how hot those littles get sitting in that stroller all day.
Yeah, and I just put mine on. You probably hear it. Um, I've never had one. Universal gave them to us on this last trip. They were in our little bags, and it says Universal on them. This one has a weird, I shouldn't say weird, but a little metal part here that like gets really, really cold. So if you put it on your
Ah,
pressure points, it like is like freakishly cold, which was so cool. I did hear that you could also get these on Amazon without the Universal logo. But what I noticed is when you use it outside, it just puts the miserable hot air back on your face.
gotcha.
I was sitting there and I'm like,
It's
gross.
not a portable AC unit. It's a fan.
Exactly. But it worked great in like the shows and in any of the air conditioned attractions because then it was like you got like the cool air on yourself and it was fabulous. So that's something that a lot of people swear by. There is some on TikTok Shop that I've noticed recently that you just like attach to your shirt and they just blow on you constantly. Again, I'm not
I
sure
would
when it's
think that
90.
would be hot too.
I'm thinking like 98 degrees, but it's better than nothing, I think.
Right.
I think that's where it comes back from.
But
But
I also want to think about like how much stuff I want to carry on me at the park because the heavier whatever bag I have with me, the
mhm,
more friction that's putting on my back or my shoulder. And when it's hot, that's no good either.
absolutely. And that's why I love a lounge fly bag, but I do not use them in the summer. A, they
Hmm.
melt. I've actually seen them melting at Walt Disney World,
Oh no.
which is a crazy thing. But also like they're on your back and they're large surface areas.
Yeah.
So like you
And
really want
leather
like a,
or yeah,
yeah,
leather, whatever they are.
like you really want like a small crossbody. So you've got to think excuse me, real carefully. Unless you've got littles, because then you've got your stroller and you
Right. That helps a ton.
put all the stuff in there for sure.
I miss the stroller for storage and cup holders and all of that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then also the idea, I saw a little girl that was like her mom was carrying her at Animal Kingdom the other day. And literally I thought to myself, I would be putting that child on the ground and running because it is so hot. And the little girl was sweaty and the mom was sweaty. And I was like, where's your stroller, friends? Like craziness. What is your plan for like hydration in the parks in terms of drinking water? How do you manage that?
So we always bring refillable water bottles and get like a flat of water delivered, a case of water. Um, Although I will say I hate beverage coolers with a passion that tend to be in the resorts now instead of a mini fridge because it's like, here's your marginally cool bottle of water.
Hmm.
So we do refillable water bottles so we can put some ice in them and then pour our water bottles in there. Disney is not so great with the refillable water stations, although they're getting better.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard that Epic has them everywhere,
They
which
do
is
in
fabulous.
every land and they're themed with the land.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah. You can get free iced water, at the quick service restaurants. It's Florida water. Some people can't, do that. Um, but I definitely need a receptacle that can hold some ice because there's just nothing at the hotel that's getting my water cool enough
Yeah.
to keep throughout the day. So,
Universal also has those Coke freestyle machines all over the place. So
mhm.
if you have a refillable cup, you can use the Coke and that part of it. But if you have a wide mouth water bottle, you can get good ice, like the crushed ice and like
Ooh,
the
yeah,
piece the great ice. We all know what that means. From the water dispensers at the Coke freestyle machines, and you just need your own water bottle for that.
nice.
So a lot of what people were doing was, now I was not prepared because we know that's not my strength. But like people had like their water bottles, we'd walk by those machines, they would fill them with ice, a little bit of water, and then they'd have it as the ice melted,
Yeah.
which makes it great. There's definitely a great focus on that over at Universal. Disney, like you said, will give you the water when you go up and ask for it. I've decided that Universal doesn't want you asking for it. They just want to give it to you so you don't
Go to
have
the
to.
machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is great. I'd rather do that than have to deal with navigating going to request water.
Right. And it's too small of a cup when they do give it to you. So
Right, right.
I'm
Because you
like, I
really
need
have to be
18 waters, please.
exactly, and you really have to be drinking constantly. Like
Yes.
people think that they've had enough, and you still see people passing out. It's just not the case. I also swear by the hydration packets, and there's all different companies that offer
Oh,
them.
uh-huh.
I'm partial right now to the liquid IV because I love all
Yeah.
the different flavors. But I drank one of those packets a day at home, and then when I'm in the park, I do up to two. And it's too much for me to have it in one water bottle, so like I spread it out throughout the course of the day because I don't like how strong it is. But
Yeah.
that makes such a difference. I won't get into specifics, but the day that I was in Epic, I failed the water experiment. And so the next day I was in conference all day and all I did was drink water with the hydration packets and had myself completely back to normal by the end of that evening. So
Yeah.
it makes a difference in that crazy, crazy heat.
That's smart. That's smart. And on vacation, like I want to have some cocktails. Like it's vacation. And as much as I love a good cocktail by the pool or a good cocktail in the park, you have to be especially careful with that in the summertime. Um, you know, Water between all of those things. And it's hot, so it tastes good. So you drink it faster. So those are things to be careful of, or even like a frozen drink that in theory you would think you would drink slower, but those are packed with sugar.
Yeah.
So then you need the water again. So those things to be careful, not just for alcoholic beverages, but a slushy is not the same hydration for your kid as water. A soda is not the same hydration as water. So
Right. And
making
iced
sure they're
coffee.
doing both too.
Right. Anything with caffeine in it is gonna be more dehydrating than hydrating. So
Yeah.
although we all want our like iced coffee in the mornings, you have to, that's not water. That's not doing that job. So like definitely mixing it up and making sure that you're drinking. I think the rule of thumb is actually a 20-ounce bottle, 20-ounce bottle per hour is like the minimum.
Hmm.
And I had talked with my doctor about that last year, just as a conversation, because she had planned a trip with me and we were talking about it. And I was like, well, why do we are here? Tell me about the hydration piece. She said that was like the bare minimum, that like when you're in a situation where you're sweating a lot, the
Right.
bare minimum is 20 ounces an hour. So keeping that in mind, because that can be hard. And I think also when our kids are little, we don't think about it as much because they're sitting in their stroller and they're not
Right.
constantly asking for it. But I think that that's something that we have to really be cognizant of for them, is that, we may be drinking it, but then now getting them to drink it. All right, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk about last thing before you leave home, because we've talked about this dreaded Disney rash before. Have you ever had it?
No, but my spouse has,
Okay.
which I didn't know until we had to walk from a parking lot. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? So, yeah, he is also a runner. So he should have known, but didn't really think it through because he's not going to run 13 miles. But
Right.
now he just brings like the Body Glide or the Chub Rub or whatever sort of brand that is for those things for runners. And,
Yeah.
we'll give it to my son and everybody else if they need it. So,
So, just for people that are listening that may not know, the Disney rash is kind of what we call it. But like I said, you can get it at Universal too, because it's really exercise-induced vasculitis, EIV. And basically, the only way to really treat this is beforehand to make sure that you're prioritizing hydration, making sure that that is something that, so before you even hit the airplane, you are already really hydrated, and then keeping that up while you're there, making sure that you're wearing good, comfortable footwear and taking breaks to rest your legs because it really starts around the ankle area and can spread up. Um,
oh, I was just thinking of thigh rub.
oh, thyroid. That's
That's different.
Yeah, that could be a problem too, for sure. And the other thing that people are suggesting is that you wear compression socks and making sure that you have light, breathable clothes, which again, we talked about the fact that that's helpful no matter what you're doing during the hot season. But if you've never had this before, I would say you don't
Mm-mm.
want to ever have it. I have had it in the past. The other thing I know is that it made a difference for me when my blood sugars were higher. I was more likely to get it, and I think that had something to do with not only just the what's in your body, but not being hydrated properly and not having
Mm.
like all of that kind of basic stuff taken care of. But it's a blistery red nasty rash, and you could Google
Oh,
it to see the photos of it if you want.
no,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, it's hugely uncomfortable. So that the biggest thing that you can do is the hydration, comfortable shoes. And I do think that if you are prone to it, sometimes going with actually wearing pants that are not leggings, but the loose fitting, like flowy kind of linen pants, that those are can be good because you're going to get that your legs will stay cooler than if you were exposed in shorts, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
So it's a nasty
I'm
thing.
gonna knock on wood that we've avoided that thus far then.
Yeah. Maybe I think you guys are good hydrators to begin with, so that could be
Yeah.
where you're helpful with that. Let's talk about daily strategies because now we've talked about all of the things you should be considering before you go, from the hotel you book to when you're ordering your water bottles and all of that kind of stuff. What are we going to do during the day to day to make sure that we have the best experience?
I think the early park entries when we can, that like we've talked about.
Mm.
Some protein versus sugar for breakfast is probably good in there too. But really getting in and doing things before the heat of the day and doing a lot of those outdoor attractions. So hit up Big Thunder Mountain and save Space Mountain for a hotter part of the day because it's indoors.
Yeah.
And kind of planning your day that way. That way you can be in those indoor rides, have your sit down meal during the hottest part of the day. Even if you've gone back, taken a swim, taken a nap, come back to the parks, it's still going to be hot significantly until the sun goes down. So.
I personally, when I recommend and then when I go, I do this. I'm always there for early entry in the morning because A, the crowds are much less in the morning as well because most people want to sleep in on their vacation. Go figure. Um,
Right.
but you get the coolest part of the day, lower crowds. I will usually do like whatever attractions. I don't usually spend too much time worrying about indoor outdoor because I don't want to waste footsteps. So like I'm doing Jungle Cruise and then I'm doing Pirates because even though Pirates is inside, I'm not coming
Right.
back for
Fair.
Pirates. But then I'll usually do a lunch, like a sit down lunch in the park, and then I head right out and I go back to my hotel for a swim. Swim first and then nap because you want to nap during the rainstorm.
There you
And
go.
that's kind of how that works out. And then I go back after dinner, like maybe have a late dinner in the park, but we go back later so that we can take advantage of once the sun goes down. All right, friends, that's your cool down checklist for surviving the summer heat in the theme parks. Whether you're rocking a neck fan, chasing shade, or double fisting frozen treats, we hope that these tips help you stay cool and keep the magic going. If you love this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your favorite park buddy, especially the one who always forgets the sunscreen, because they might need these tips more than your average bear. And hey, if you'd rather spend your time shopping for cooling towels and anti-chafing powder and let someone else handle the planning, reach out to us at Mickey Guru Travel Company. We'll help you plan a summer vacation so cool that even Olaf would be jealous. Because your only job should be choosing between Dole Whip and ice cream bars. Pro tip, get both. All right, catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Talk Travel to Me. We hope this episode cracked open inspiration for the treasures that await you at your next dream destination. If you love the show, please review, subscribe, and share it with a friend. At Mickey Guru Travel Company, we're your trusted guides for theme parks, cruises, resorts, and more. Visit our website at mickey guru.com to learn more and book your vacation today.